following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? I am so excited. I have a great friend of mine that you will be hearing a lot of information about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Dr. Jennie Bennett is with us on today. She's Executive Director of Reconstruction of a Survivor. Hey lady, how you doing?
I'm doing fabulous, Cam. Thank you so much for having me on the show today.
I am so excited today. We talked on yesterday a little bit, but I just could not sleep this morning. I kept thinking to myself, what all information we will be telling young ladies on today and letting them know that it's not a death sentence. So many women think that it's a death sentence, and it's gotten so much better. You yourself are a 24-year survivor.
Yes, 24 years.
Take
24 years ago this month, I had surgery.
Absolutely. Take us to that day of when they told you and when you found out your story.
When on the day that I was diagnosed with breast cancer, a good friend of mine that I grew up with, he was a general surgeon, and Don Roby said, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is he'd done a biopsy. The good news is I didn't take much breast. I said, well, I ain't got much breast to take. And he didn't laugh. I thought, what is wrong with Don today? And then he said, the bad news is it's breast cancer. And I just knew I was going to die. I thought, who's going to raise my daughter? He said, but I can't help you. I'm going to send you to MD Anderson. And the rest is history. I had surgery. I almost died. I could have died after surgery because a blood clot formed in the reconstructed breast. But God had a better plan for me.
Right, right. 24 years later, you have been working tirelessly in this organization. How did this organization start? The name and everything. How did you come about it? And how did you decide, hey, you're going to dedicate your life to do this?
Well, the organization started back in 2007. And I'd heard God spoke through others to me to say, you need to start a nonprofit. And I thought, I don't have time. I'm busy speaking about mathematics all over the United States. I'm busy writing mathematics textbooks. I don't have time. And I heard, well, the second time I heard it, you need to start a nonprofit for breast cancer patients. I thought, God's speaking to me. So what I did was I filed for 501c3, got it funded, and I said, well, okay, now that this is done, now what? Everyone's doing mammograms, so what can I do? And again, I heard the Holy Spirit speak and say, breast cancer support groups, write the curriculum. You've written curriculum for the state of Texas, the state of Louisiana for mathematics. You've written math textbooks. You can do this. So I got clear directions on how to write the curriculum. We have about 30 sessions in our curriculum right now. And it's curriculum focused with trained facilitators. So I said, I can't go all over the places because we have 11 different locations. And with having trained facilitators who actually conduct the sessions, that is a big help. Right now, we're doing all meetings on Zoom because of the COVID virus. And so it's going well.
Let's give a few facts. Let's look at a few facts about breast cancer so we can give that information to women. Women and men. Let's make sure of that. Women and men. Let's go down your list. Let's go. You go down your list and tell us some of the statistics, some of the things.
1 in 8 women, 1 in 8 in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer during her lifetime.
Wow.
More African American women are diagnosed with late stage breast cancer and die from breast cancer than any other ethnic group. Let me give you an example. There's a 29-year-old who I know who was I became acquainted with, who was diagnosed. She said, I saw the lump, felt the lump, but it kept growing. And I just ignored it, thought it would go away. And when she was diagnosed, she was stage 3. There are only 4 stages in breast cancer or any cancer. 1% of men are diagnosed with breast cancer. 1%. You don't have to have a family history in order to be diagnosed with breast cancer. It's not only considered on your mother's side, but please consider your father's side. No one on my mother's side had any type of cancer. My father's side had, his sister had breast cancer. So that's the side where the breast cancer comes from. And then if you notice a lump, that's okay. But know that there are other signs of having breast cancer, potential signs. A nipple discharge, which is what I had. You can also have a rash, or you can have a dimpling in the nipple. If you notice those signs, and you really should consider seeing your physician immediately.
We're going to go back and we're going to talk a little bit about 1% in men. A lot of men don't feel as though they would have breast cancer, or we call it chest/breast cancer
Yeah.
for the men. But we do know of several, one being Matthew Knowles. He did come out and speak about it, and several others that are prominent that know about that. And 1% of men do get it.
Yes. Richard Roundtree was the first African-American male who I became acquainted with breast cancer years ago. And please understand that your mother or father does not have to have a line of breast cancer in your family. Many times it comes from ovarian cancer in a previous generation. There's a test called a BRCA gene test. There's BRCA1 and 2. And these BRCA tests come from gene mutations known as BRCA1 and BRCA2. And there's testing for both men and women for this gene. And it produces tumor suppression proteins. And the person is at risk of having breast cancer if they've been diagnosed with BRCA1 and 2. And insurance does pay for the testing.
I'm glad you mentioned insurance. I've had so many women to speak to me about, because I did a little, clip on asking about women and kind of talk to them about what are the things that really, why wouldn't you go get a mammogram, or why haven't you been, tested or something like that? Insurance is very huge. Some people are uninsured and others are underinsured. And let's talk about how they can get that help.
Well, I think it's so critical that you mentioned that. Oftentimes people who don't have insurance say, I've got this nipple discharge, or I've got this lump, or I've got this rash. I'm not sure what it is. I need to go get it checked out. If you're in the Houston area, the Rose is a good source for uninsured and underinsured women. However, please note, if you work part-time and don't have insurance, there's a fee that you'll have to pay. If you're uninsured and not working, you don't have to pay any fees for that. So that the Rose is a good source. Now, in order to get to the Rose, you have to have a referral, a physician's referral. If you don't have a primary physician and don't have insurance, then the main thing to do is to contact Dr. Sean Burton, Burton, at the Magnolia Family Medical Center. She's here in Houston, and she charges a small fee to do only a breast exam and provide you with a referral to go to the Rose for the testing or for mammogram. If you have a positive diagnosis of breast cancer and the Rose or any other location, Harris Health is another location, get a gold card and go to Harris Health and let them do the testing as well. If you come up with a positive diagnosis, don't think that there's no way you can get funded for treatment of breast cancer. There is, or even ovarian cancer. There's a federal program called the Breast and Cervical Services Program, Breast and Cervical Cancer Services Program. This program is a federally funded program that we fought for years ago, and it provides funding from diagnosis to treatment. Treatment includes chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, reconstruction, medication. It takes care of all of that. But many people, especially people in the community who are not insured or underinsured, don't even know about it. And no one tells them about it.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So, and that's why many die.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why many died.
I can't afford it. I can't afford it.
Right.
So therefore, I'm not going to do a thing about it.
Absolutely. Or they wait till closer to the end, the third and fourth stages.
Yes.
Many of them do. The other thing, too, I've noticed, and I've talked to many of the ladies about this, is age. Many times, age is, as far as mammograms, they always say it seems 40 years old, but so many people being diagnosed, so as far as African American women, I should say, earlier in their 20s, in their 30s,
Yes.
before their 40s.
Yes. Absolutely. And what one of my board members, Lisa McMillan, was diagnosed at the age of 26, and that was
Wow.
32 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to fight. She had to tell them, and this was 32 years ago. Think when the technology was not as great as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa had to go, and she said, I felt in my spirit, something kept saying, there's something not right
Mm-hmm.
with me feeling that I've got breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I'm going to push it and push it. She did. And sure enough, she was diagnosed with breast cancer 32 years ago. And
Wow.
she was 26.
Yes.
And her husband was playing professional football at the time for the Houston Oilers. So, it's a shame that you have to fight,
Mm-hmm.
but it's you have to. So that in the event that you feel in your spirit or people, so your gut, that
Mm-hmm.
something's not right, then you have to fight for it. Go get another opinion, go pay your money to see somebody else, or talk to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because that way you'll know if you're feeling, even if it's not breast cancer, even if it's fibrous cyst in your breast. People don't understand what fibrous cysts are. And it's just cyst in your breast that's filled with fluid. It cannot turn to breast cancer. So many people don't understand that, women don't in particular, and don't know. They automatically think it's breast cancer, and it is not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In your
So it's a matter of, no matter what age you are, fight for what you believe.
Absolutely. Many don't fight. They say, either we can't do it right now, we're not going to do it now, and then we just take that and accept it as, hey, they can't find it. It's okay.
And they decide to wait.
Yes.
And that's why, particularly African American women, are diagnosed at such a late stage 3, stages 4,
Yes.
or they may have what's called, get to the point where if it's stage 4, then that means they're metastatic, that the cancer's slipped into the lymph nodes and have traveled to other organs in the body,
Yes.
brain, lungs, liver, bones, so that it takes no more ways to find ways to solve it, other types of treatment or therapies to fix that cancer or to get rid of the cancer. And
Mm-hmm.
also a lot of prayer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Much prayer, much power.
Exactly. So many women also feel as though, and we're talking about the femininity, that they lose if the first thing they say is, I'm going to have to lose my breast, or I'm going to have to, part of it. I won't feel as feminine anymore.
Right. And we address that in our support group sessions. I felt, and that's why we included in our curriculum, we have a curriculum, as I mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
with 30 sessions in it. And we don't talk about specifically breast reconstruction, but breast reconstruction is an option. And
Mm-hmm.
there are many types of breast reconstruction. I was so blessed to have breast reconstruction at the time that I did, because it was just new on the block, on the scene,
Mm-hmm.
and brand new in 96. And they did what's called a free tram flap. And that means that they took my abdominal fat, which I had a little bit of that there, enough to reconstruct one breast
Mm-hmm.
and the muscle. And
Mm-hmm.
now they don't take as much muscle as they did back then. So they do what's called a deep flap now. But the breast reconstruction is so simple. They did not do nipple sparing back then, and now they do, where even if you have a mastectomy, you can spare the nipple and it looks just like the regular breast. My nipple and my breast looks just like the one on the right side, which was not touched.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then they did not remove an undiagnosed cancer in a breast that didn't have breast cancer. So now, if a person or a woman decides, okay, I want both of them gone,
Mm-hmm.
Having a mastectomy reduces the chances of the reoccurrence of breast cancer. Now, does it mean that you won't get it? It doesn't mean that. It means that the chances of it or likelihood are reduced significantly versus if you have just a lumpectomy.
Mm-hmm.
Lumpectomy means all you do is remove the lump and you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to have radiation, you may have to have chemotherapy with the lumpectomy, but the chances of reoccurrence are higher with lumpectomy than with mastectomy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So encapsulate it. If you encapsulate it and you remove the whole thing.
Encapsulation is something different. Encapsulation means if you have what's called a breast implant,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the types of breast reconstruction, and it encapsulates means that it becomes hard like a brick.
Mm.
And that means that the implant, something's gone wrong with the implant. You have to have it removed. My good friend, and I don't know if she wants me to mention her name, her first name is Yolanda, her implant encapsulated.
Mm-hmm.
And I prayed about it. I said, Yolanda, I've got an outstanding reconstructive surgeon. He is phenomenal. Jay Shinak.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to go get a second opinion. Oh, I've had this done 2 times. I'm going to go back to the same person. 3 times, you're striking out.
Mm-hmm.
No. Let's go get a second opinion. I'll go with you. And Dr. Shinak said, I think we need to replace the type of implant you have.
Mm-hmm.
And let's look at using this type versus the one that you've got. And she's had no problems, and it's been at least 3 to 4 years since that encapsulation happened for her.
Mm-hmm.
So encapsulation means something is not right with that implant.
Mm-hmm.
Or your implants can sometimes leak. So again, it's always good to check it out. Once you have, like, I still go for mammograms. If you have a bilateral mastectomy, then you want to go back and have ultrasounds done,
Mm-hmm.
because they cannot really do a mammogram on the breast reconstruction that you've had. I get a mammogram done on the right breast that was not operated on, or I received a mastectomy on.
Mm-hmm. 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 The other, you put down, you have surgical options, and we went over a few of those. Several women, we were talking with Janice on Monday, and we were talking, we were talking a little bit about reconstruction. A lady sent in that she was so excited that she had both of her breasts removed. She was able to go up 2 sizes higher than she was before.
Wow. Woo-hoo.
And she was so excited about it. It was the best thing that has happened to her, because at that time she just didn't have a lot of breast, and now she's able to wear the clothes, dresses and things that she wanted to wear. So she was excited about it, and she wanted all women to know that femininity is in you, the person.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always tell patients, who are trying to face that decision, the decision is ultimately yours, not the plastic surgeon's,
Mm-hmm.
and not the surgeon who's operating on you. I always try to remind them we've got outstanding surgeons, but you want to make sure that the surgeon who's going to do your mastectomy or lumpectomy is not just only certified to be a general surgeon certified with diseases of the breast. You want to make sure that someone has studied oncology, that they've studied cancer, that they've done either a fellowship in oncology somewhere and knows how to handle patients who've been diagnosed with cancer. And that's so important as well. And having breast reconstruction, your options are you've got a wide range of options.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the flap, the deep flap, and what's called a regular flap, which they pull the abdominal muscle up through the chest wall and cavity to reconstruct a new breast. And you've got the option of implants. So that's an option as well. And if you have implants already, you all still want to make sure that you have mammograms done to make sure that there's nothing wrong. If you don't have cancer, if you got breast implants to enhance what God gave you, then you want to make sure that you have mammograms done to make sure that there's no cancer lurking behind those implants.
Absolutely. Let's do this. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with Dr. Bennett.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. For a limited time, get $16,000 off all in-stock Cadillac 2019 XT5 crossovers and $19,000 off all in-stock 2019 CT6 sedans. Or experience the first ever 2020 Cadillac XT6 Premium Luxury Collection. Only $519 with $1 down for 39 months lease. Or purchase and receive 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. Drive the new 2020 Cadillac XT4, only $399 a month, or the new 2020 XT5, only $429 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase the XT4 or XT5 and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powles.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, thank you so much for coming back, Dr. Bennett. We were just talking about and doing the end of reconstruction of the breast, and we were talking about enhancing the breast a little bit. Enhancement of the breast.
Yes.
And we were also discussing just the ways that women can, after the breast is removed. One of the other things is chemotherapy. The first thing every woman thinks of is that my hair is going to fall out.
Yes. All chemotherapy drugs and technologies do not cause hair to fall out.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the level of or stage of the breast cancer, as well as a type of chemotherapy drug. There's so many drugs. I do research. Let me put it this way. I review research proposals for the Department of Defense, which is a federal agency through the federal government, Department of Defense, that's like Army. And I review proposals. I've been doing it for 4 years. And to see how the technologies for chemotherapies have changed over that 4 years of just serving to review research proposals has been phenomenal. So all chemotherapy drugs do not remove the hair. If the hair is lost, then there are different things that you can do. You can go bald. I've met women who walk around bald with no hair at all.
Mm-hmm.
You can wear a scarf. You can get a wig. We are connected to another nonprofit that has free wigs for women who are diagnosed, who've been diagnosed with breast cancer. So, or you can do something with hair replacement. If your hair does not come back completely, we've got another connection with another breast cancer another nonprofit that can help you with replacing spots in your hair and your scalp or what have you that have not come all the way back after you're done with chemotherapy. Radiation is another form of treatment. And many times we don't know what to do about the skin because radiation may tend to burn the skin. So what is important to remember is that the radiation stays in your blood, in your system for 6 months after your last radiation treatment. So there are lots of things that we need to educate ourselves on. And the internet is not always the best way to get information.
I totally agree with that. We'll Google and say, "Oh my God,
Yes.
I am, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing." Then something pops up. You got COVID.
Absolutely. And let me mention this too. One of the things that I think is really important, another therapy that's often used for treatment of breast cancer after a woman's been diagnosed, if she's estrogen positive, what the physicians will do is prescribe an estrogen suppressor, tamoxifen or Arimidex, to suppress the estrogen in their bodies. And that means that they've been diagnosed with either HER2 positive or HER2 negative. And if you understand that, that means that they're suppressing your estrogen. And that's important because the more estrogen your body produces, if you're HER2 positive or negative, the more likely for the breast cancer to return. So that's why you have to be on this regimen. One of the things that I think is so important, I did before I was diagnosed, and I've continue to do even now, is to exercise and eat healthy. Putting down the fast foods was so easy for me to do that I don't miss it. Putting down caffeine sodas, putting down caffeinated coffee. Because if you drink caffeine or eat chocolate, now I do eat chocolate, but within moderation. I can't put that down totally. But it can the caffeine can form fiber cysts in your breast and make you think, there's a lump, I've got breast cancer. So eating healthy and exercise, we cover those in our curriculum about eating healthy and exercise. We also cover in our curriculum forgiveness. I cannot tell you, not just with breast cancer, forgiving those people and situations where you've been hurt.
Right.
Is so monumental in the life of a person who's been diagnosed with any type of cancer. And forgiving those persons, and you say, I forgave them. If you think deep down, you have not.
Yeah.
So I always tell people to write a letter to yourself or the person you need to forgive. Let them off the hook because it is not for them, it is for you.
Yes.
So we cover forgiveness in our curriculum. We also cover it's okay to cry. We talk about relationships. My relationship with God before I was diagnosed was, He's my sugar daddy. Lord, I need this. Lord, I need that. Lord, I need blah, blah, blah. And now it is changed such that I began to praise Him for doing what He said He was going to do for me in my life.
The other thing you also talk about mental health, suicide, depression.
Oh my God,
like
yes. Yes, we had one breast cancer survivor who came to us, and I knew something was not right with her. And the second session she came to our support group, she said, I must tell you, the first session really helped me because I was suicidal. I was willing to drive my car off the freeway and kill myself because I had no one to support me starting my journey of breast cancer. And I thought, oh my goodness. So mental health issues are addressed in our curriculum through the things or challenges that women face during the session. It is so critical to get that help through a support group or through some church group that is addressing the challenges of going through cancer diagnosis. So important.
You also talk about the fact within your support group of how to tell family members and what to say.
Exactly. We do. And they are also invited. Family members, friends, neighbors are invited. Your support system, caregivers are invited to attend the support group as well. It's not just for those who are diagnosed with cancer. And if you're diagnosed, you can come at any stage of diagnosis. If you're in treatment right now, you can say, it's too late, I can't go. Yes, you can.
Yes.
If you're finished with treatment or almost finished with treatment, yes, you can. The door is always open to anyone at any stage. We also provide, Cam, financial assistance to the women who attend our support groups. We have provided paid for mortgages, at least 1 month of mortgage payments. We've paid rent. We've taken care of, I'm trying to think, we've done so much.
Yeah.
Rent, paid car notes. We had one homeless person sleeping on the streets of Houston who refused to go into treatment again. She was stage 4.
Wow.
She refused treatment. She said, if I go into treatment again, then I'm going to have to come back and sleep on the streets with animals and our inclement weather.
Yes.
She said, I cannot go to treatment. If I'm sick, I can't go and come back and sleep out in the streets.
Right.
So we put her in an extended stay. She went back to treatment. The cancer was more than metastatic. It was everywhere.
Wow.
And she did not make it.
Wow.
But at least we did what we could to help her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let me say this, a lot of what we do is through the donations we've received and the events that we have, as well as through Kava Health, Kava Health. They provide our rental space so that we have office space to do the kinds of things that we're able to do. And I'm so appreciative of Kava Health because that allows our funding to go to help the women we serve diagnosed with breast cancer.
Absolutely. You've done so much, Dr. Bennett, over these 24 years, my God. Just even before your nonprofit, you were doing things for women that were,
Yes.
had breast cancer. They would come talk to you
Yes.
all of these times and things like that. In doing so? Why was that?
Cam, all I can say is that God had a plan for my life, and I'm so eternally grateful to Him because women would find me through other people who talked about me, through other doctors who say, I know of Dr. Jennie Bennett. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. You might want to talk to her. And they would give them my information. I'd get phone calls out of the blue. And, and this was before the nonprofits got started. And I would do all that I could to share with them, this is what breast cancer will do for you. Here's some resources for you. And I would also at the time, back then, I don't do it now, would share with them what a reconstructed breast would look like. Because some of them were facing a mastectomy, complete mastectomy, and were afraid of having it done. And I said, well, you can have this option of having a breast reconstructed, your breast reconstructed. So therefore, don't be afraid. My reconstructed breast looks exactly like the breast that did not have any cancer in it. Exactly. I had a perfectionist for a breast surgeon. And so if people say, oh, I want to go to MD Anderson, I can't get in, let me know. Contact me. I'll do what I can to get you in because I have those inroads and I've got several board members who work at MD Anderson. I'm so eternally grateful to my board. I'm grateful for my volunteers. We've got facilitators who are trained to conduct the support groups. Many of them have gone through breast cancer themselves. I've got one who's a retired nurse out in Texas City who does a phenomenal job. She did not have breast cancer, but she's good about talking to people who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Each and every one's journey is so different. No journey is identical to someone else's. It's called individualized journey.
What I love about you all the time, Dr. Bennett, I've known you for a while, and we've done different. You've come on the show a few times to talk about breast cancer. Your advocacy to women as well as men, just about breast cancer. You've sat on research side for 4 years, just to make sure that you're on top of it and that you can spread the word to others. Why so?
Yes.
Why so sit on this research above everything else you do?
Well, and then too, let me say this to you. And it's so important to sit on that committee. I've sat on research committees for MD Anderson and participated in research studies. The reason why I participated in 2 research studies when I was going through treatment at MD Anderson, number 1, it saved my life.
Yes.
Number 2, African American women do not want to participate in research.
Right.
Why? Because they think about Tuskegee experiment.
Yes.
And they think about, I don't want to be a guinea pig.
Yes.
No, that's not it. Or they think about, well, my mother, I used to hear my grandmother say, or my parents say, once you get cut open with cancer, it goes everywhere and you die. That is not the case. So participating in research can save your life, if not your life, the life of the person who comes after you, who's going to be diagnosed with breast cancer. Remember, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and more African American women die from it. So it's also so very critical that if there's a study of some sort, that you get in that study, you participate in it, and then you become not a guinea pig, but a number to help someone else.
I love that.
We need that data.
We
need that data.
We do. And I'm glad you're saying that, and you're telling other women that when they see that, because there's so many studies out there but they need
Yes.
participation, especially from us as African American, because they don't have it.
There's a website called clinicaltrials.org, and it lets you know the clinical trials in your area that are available. Oftentimes, in fact, I've never had to pay for any medications or anything when I participated in a clinical trial. It was all free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So know that that's available. I was talking to a veteran the other day who was diagnosed with a second diagnosis of breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I don't know how I'm going to afford my medication. I said, here's what you do. Get in the BCCS program or she said, no, I've got insurance. I said, well, then contact the pharmaceutical company and ask them to help you pay for that because it can be expensive.
Okay. Well,
So,
what we're going to do, they
what's
want
going on?
to show you have an upcoming event. Let's show that flyer and let's talk about that upcoming event.
Sure.
There you go. That's
This
your
is our
upcoming
fifth
event.
annual golf tournament for Reconstruction of a Survivor. It's going to be October the 9th, which is a Friday morning at Quail Valley Golf Course out in Missouri City. We're going to practice social distancing. We're going to do temperature checks. We'll have masks available if someone comes without a mask. All the event will be done outside. They have a beautiful patio where we'll have the lunch. Black Walnut Cafe on Memorial Drive is providing the breakfast outside for us. We'll have lunch outside provided by Quail Valley. And the proceeds go back to help Reconstruction of a Survivor. Like I said, we don't pay rent. We don't have salaries. The monies go back to help the women diagnosed with breast cancer. The other thing is that we've got wonderful, wonderful auction items. I can't go through all of them, and we'll have raffle items if you signed up as a golfer, or if you want to come and get your name in one of the raffle items, then you're welcome to have participate in that. But please come out. We've got tons of volunteers. I appreciate them so very much because they are giving their time, their service, their love, and just being used by God to help other women.
Absolutely. I love that. So it's October the 9th. It's Friday.
Yes.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Good.
Next Friday.
That's good. What else do we have?
Right now, because of the pandemic, as I said, all of our support group sessions are on Zoom. If you know someone who's been diagnosed with breast cancer and you feel that they may need some help, or if it's you yourself, be sure that you go to our website at www.roasurvivor.org. If you look on the right-hand side of the panel, it'll show you, it says contact us if you're interested in participating in one of the support groups, and I can find out which support group would best fit your needs. We have got various support groups all over, so that when we go back live again face to face, I'm hopefully can get you into one that's going to be close to where you live. We do not discriminate. We've got women from all cultural backgrounds, African American, white, Jewish. We've had a Muslim to participate. We've got women from all socioeconomic levels, as well as from all, what else? I'm missing something. Socioeconomic backgrounds, cultural, and well, anyway, we take anybody. We take anybody.
I love it. You take anybody.
All are welcome to come.
All
Yes.
are welcome to come. We love that. We
Yes.
love the fact that you have dedicated your life with just the information also, because everything changes every year. It changes on a consistent basis. But I love the fact that you tell women way before 40, if something is wrong, go.
Yes. Remember, if you know your body more than anyone else in the world, more than your doctor knows your body, please fight for what you believe is going wrong with your body. And it doesn't have to be breast cancer. I had open heart surgery several years ago, and the surgery caused my kidneys to take a vacation. And I believed that they would come back from vacation because that's what God told me. Well, they did for 3 months. And I was on dialysis for 3 months and off 2.5 years. and I'm back on dialysis now, doing all the work that I'm doing right now. But I truly believe that, and research has changed so much, not just with that, with breast cancer, but with all kinds of areas of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, with the kidneys troubles, issues that I'm having, or challenges, as I call them. People say your kidneys are not working. Yes, they are. They're working in heaven, but we manifest that here on earth. And I always say that they are working. And the research has changed because I don't have to have a match for a kidney, whereas in the past, you have to have somebody to donate for you to be a match. And that is not the case anymore. So the research changes not just with cancer and all forms of cancer, but also other types of medical issues and challenges that people face.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. And we want to talk more about Dr. Bennett, talk to her a little bit more, breast cancer as well as other health conditions. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. Drive the new 2020 Cadillac XT4, only $399 a month, or the new 2020 XT5, only $429 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase the XT4 or XT5 and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powles.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. For a limited time, get $16,000 off all in-stock Cadillac 2019 XT5 crossovers and $19,000 off all in-stock 2019 CT6 sedans. Or experience the first ever 2020 Cadillac XT6 Premium Luxury Collection, only $519 with $1 down for 39 months lease. Or purchase and receive 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, thanks so much for coming back. We were talking to Dr. Bennett a little bit. Dr. Bennett, we were talking to you a little bit about your journey with your kidneys.
Yes. And I truly believe that God has a plan for me to continue on the work that I'm doing for women diagnosed with breast cancer. But there may be something else he wants me to do. I do speak to the medical students at the McGovern Medical School in the medical center at least once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I was scheduled to speak again in April about my journey with breast cancer and with kidneys to let the over 200 potential physicians know you've got to listen to your patients.
Yes.
If you don't understand the African American community, because I'm African American, then you need to get to know our community.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have different thoughts. We have a lot of myths in our head, or we have some facts that may not be actual facts, but we want to help dispel a lot of that. So it's important for you to know your family history. I can always remember my mother always saying, whatever goes on in this house stays in this house.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No one in my family on her side had any type of cancer. My father's sister had breast cancer. No one talked about it. We knew about it because she had a lymphedema in her arm. Her arm had edema or swelling, but no one talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And no one talked about the fact that no one in my family, there were no kidney issues in my family, but we had hypertension.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't cause my kidneys to go south, but it can. Persons who are diabetic, who have hypertension, need to be careful. Follow what your doctor says. Follow the diet. Eat healthy. Exercise, especially exercise. I've been exercising now for 25 years, and I love it. When I can't, I am miserable and I'm grouchy. You don't want to get grouchy. You want to be around me when I haven't exercised. So those are important things. Even if, even being on dialysis, I still exercise and make the time to do it. And I also want to say, Cam, that I want to thank the facilities who allow us to have the support groups. We are at 4 of the Houston Methodist hospitals. We're at the VA hospital. We're also at Good Hope Baptist Church. We are at UTMB facility in League City. We're at Texas City Community Center. We've got trained facilitators there. We are also at HCA, the Women's Hospital and the Medical Center. We've got a location, HCA Pearland, and I'm always forgetting somebody. I always do, but that's enough. I think those are the main locations for us.
That sounds great. That sounds good. I love the fact, like you said, you have support groups, because so many things happen. Once a person does hear the word cancer, no matter what it is, just cancer, we in our community many times think death.
I thought death. And every cancer patient I've talked to, regardless if it's breast cancer or not, they always think I'm going to die.
Yes.
In particular, the breast cancer patients, because there's such a lack of knowledge in our community,
right.
In many communities, not just African American, but in many communities, about the resources, the technologies or treatments for that disease. It's so prevalent out there in terms of lack of knowledge and lack of information. It's important to educate yourself, but educate yourself the right way. And it's also very good to get the support. Many of the people in our support groups have gone through cancer. They know, are in the journey of cancer. We had one gentleman, I'll tell this funny story real quick. His wife, he would come every single month. We meet once a month with his wife who had breast cancer. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer. There's nothing for him in terms of support for prostate cancer. And he told us one night, he said, I have learned more about cancer and learned about how to go through the journey of cancer than I did when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So it was helpful to him just to be in the presence of others who are going through the journey of cancer.
Absolutely. There's one lady that sent in a note just letting people know, a lot of older women, she's older in her 70s, and she chose not to have, she had both breasts removed, but she chose prosthesis, she said.
Yes.
So,
yes. And that's something that I think is a good option for women. I know several who have decided to go that route. The prosthesis the technology is changing regarding prosthetics, so that with the prosthetic, a woman can find them as being lighter, because many times they're heavy, because people want them to emulate what the feeling of a natural breast is.
Yes.
But now they're making them now because of the advancement in technology, such that they're lighter and not as heavy to wear during the course of a day.
Right, right. So she was just letting her older sisters, she said, her older sisters, to let them know that, because they're older, they said too much surgery is too much. So they don't want to.
Yeah, and I'm glad she sent that note in, because it reminds me of one lady that I was able to help when she was diagnosed. I went in met her at MD Anderson to meet with her surgeon and meet with the plastic surgeon, and her husband was with her. And it was so funny, because this is an older white woman in her 70s at the time, and she said she met with a plastic surgeon. She said, "Well, what are my options?" And he gave her the options, and she said, "Oh, you mean I can have 2 new perky boobs?" And she said, "Oh, my husband." He said, "Honey, you're going to love this." And she looked at him, and he said, "Yeah." So, having 2 new perky boobs or none at all, it's up to you to feel good about yourself and to get the support from others, to know that you are here to be able to bless somebody else with the journey that you've gone through.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm still here.
Do want to reiterate from the men's side, as a guy, ladies, we want you here. So whichever way you can stay here, we want you here.
Yeah, and we did have one male out at our location at Houston Methodist in Sugar Land. His wife had lung cancer, he had the breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and he would come to the support group because he had breast cancer, and she would come with him. And he was not ashamed to be in a group of all women,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the things we address in our support groups not only affect the men, but they also, affect the women, but they're also important to the men as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the therapies that they give the men for treatment of breast cancer are the exact same drugs that they give the women.
Mm.
Nothing different.
Mm.
Nothing different.
Wow.
Because it's
Wow.
hormonal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's hormonal. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Let's reiterate again about underinsured and under and uninsured women. What process going to the rolls is?
Right. Yes. Please, please, please. If you have not had a mammogram, I met a lady. I was speaking at a rehabilitation center funded by the Salvation Army
Mm-hmm.
one night, and I gave away door prizes for people to get a free mammogram. That I had a grant that would pay for them to go get a free mammogram,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to have a referral to go to the Rose for the free mammogram. So I had a raffle, and one lady was in her 60s, had never had a mammogram in her 60s.
Mm-hmm.
She won the raffle, and I said, here. It only cost $25 at the time. This was back in the early 2010 exactly. And I said, it only costs $25 to go see Dr. Sean Burton. Let her do a breast exam, and that's all she would do. She'll write a referral for you to go to the Rose. If you're uninsured, which she didn't have insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're underinsured, that means that you have insurance, but it's not going to cover enough of
Right.
anything.
Absolutely.
And even with the affordable health care, sometimes you have such a high deductible or you have to pay such a high copay to go in to see a doctor. The Rose is a good option for you. And once you're
Absolutely.
diagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a positive diagnosis, then the BCCS service, which is a breast and cervical cancer services program, is there for you to help take care of your treatment.
Right.
And we've
Let's.
got on our website, I'm sorry, Cam, excuse me for interrupting. On our website, we have a whole list of resources for women, their financial resources, health resources, clinical trial resources. It's there on our website under the tab resources.
That's great. Also, let's tell women that do have insurance to go to the Rose because that's how it's funded for other women.
Exactly. Their insurance helps to fund other women who are uninsured and underinsured. If you don't have insurance and you work part-time, remember, you will have to pay on a sliding scale. I don't want you to be shocked to say it's going to be free because I don't have insurance. That's not the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Please
Mm-hmm.
know that if you work part-time or full-time and don't have insurance, you will have to pay a fee.
Yes. Yes. We want to be able to tell that about the Rose and things like that. And also, we want to make sure with your website, let's go back to the website again.
The website address is www.roasurvivor.org. And it's not too late to sign up to play in the golf tournament. Or if you want to come out and bid on some of the auction items, we have wonderful auction items. We've got one night stay at Casa del Mar in Galveston, which is a seafront, ocean, well, not oceanfront, but Galveston Bayfront facility. And I stayed there before, and it is wonderful, 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 wonderful.
That's
Norma's,
let's give it that date
Norma
again.
Garza. The date of the golf tournament is next Friday,
Yes.
October the 9th.
That's perfect. That's perfect. How do people get in touch with you? The website again, is that on the website?
It's on the website,
Mm-hmm.
but also my email address is D like a doctor, J Bennett, B like in boy, ENNETT at roasurvivor.org. We also have an Instagram page, and we also have a Facebook page. And all that information is on our website.
Perfect. What would you like to leave with the viewers?
Don't let the fact that you may have funds or do not have funds stop you from being treated for breast cancer or someone that you might know or love. Know that it's all treatable. There's always hope. People come to us hopeless, but they leave leave from being attending our support groups with a ton of hope, knowing that they can live and you can live beyond a diagnosis of breast cancer.
That's beautiful. I thank you, lady, for everything, all that you do,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Bennett. I
Thank you.
so appreciate you for all the years you have done everything for all women, thousands and thousands of women, thousands and thousands of going through research and just taking your time. God bless you.
And I thank God for you allowing me to come on the show. And I'm so eternally grateful to him for the favor he's given our organization because we operate our budget on a shoestring, but we need more than a shoestring to help the numbers that are going to increase, even though during this pandemic state. People are given to anything that says COVID on it, but we still have women diagnosed during this COVID pandemic time.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you and much
Thank
love
you.
to you.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you on Friday.
See you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Hey guys, on tomorrow we have Sherry Shepherd, and you have got to come back and see her. 12:30 to 1:30 Central Standard Time. You will laugh the whole time. Be blessed. Bye.